So, long story short, the advice is to, instead of having them have 2 waves of berries a season, focus them on just doing 1 wave of berry. And it's actually a really easy solution. You just cut these right down to the ground. So the berries that come. Hey, it's Greg here at maritimegardening.com, and I thought I would do a video on my raspberries, pruning my raspberries for next year. These are Everbearing raspberries, and they have a growing habit where they put up growth in the spring every year, and then that growth survives to the next year and puts berries on it. What am I trying to say here? They have 2 productions of berries per season. They produce berries very early in the year and very poorly, and then they produce berries again very late in the year. So these branches that have the green leaves on them, these branches will produce this particular variety, Everbearing. These branches, which you can tell, they produced raspberries. Right? They produced them but didn't finish producing them. That's the weird thing. So what my raspberries do every year is they put up new growth in the spring, and that growth goes to flower in like October. And then some of those flowers become raspberries and some of them don't. And none of them taste very good because they're kind of being frozen and thawed during that process. You know, ideally your raspberries are coming on when you're not getting frost. So, and these same branches for this particular variety, I know people are going to say, oh, you can't, these are Everbearing raspberries, a different kind. These branches with the green leaves on them that produce growth this year, these branches will produce strawberries next spring. That's the first wave. Your first wave of berries is on last year's strawberries, and then your second wave of berries is on these new ones. The problem is I just don't have the right growing season, the right conditions for an Everbearing raspberry to do well. You may be in a place like British Columbia where you've got a very mild fall, but here the frost comes too early and it just doesn't work. So I did a whole bunch of reading. I've mentioned this in my videos, and people have given me some excellent advice and directed me some excellent resources. And sorry for the noise in the background. That is happy children playing outdoors with sticks and rocks and such. Makes me feel warm inside. So, long story short, the advice is to, instead of having them have 2 waves of berries a season, focus them on just doing 1 wave of berry. And it actually is a really easy solution. You just cut these right down to the ground. So the berries that come, the first wave of berries that come off these strawberries, they come, so I have a, let's see here, here's a branch. All right, so this was new growth, started this spring and bore, you know, these undeveloped raspberries in October, okay? So the top part of the branch is not going to produce any berries next year, but the lower part has got these little buds, right? Each of these buds will become a branch and will produce raspberries early next summer. But those raspberries are always pathetic. The really strong growth is the second one that comes along, the new growth that puts out the new one. That's a strong growth. So from what I've read, if you have Everbearing in a short growing season type place, you give up on that first wave of raspberries. I might be saying raspberries and strawberries back and forth here. I mean raspberries. You give up on that first wave of raspberries. You cut these things right down to the ground, and there is no first wave of raspberries. The plant's put all its energy into producing new growth, and that new growth, because it's putting all its energy into that new growth, will come into flower earlier and hopefully produce your raspberries before you start getting frost. That's the gamble. You know, if you're a cautious gardener, what you should do is, any new trick you're going to try, you should do it to like half or a quarter of your garden and see what happens, and then apply it to the rest of the garden if it works. But I'm not cautious. I tend to go, if I think it's a good idea, I tend to go whole hog. So anyway, I thought, well, it makes sense to do that. It's an easy way to do it. And also I can use all these canes as a mulch anyway. So I got pruning shears, and I got these, I can't remember what these are called, but anyway, I got these things. Just got these at a dollar store, believe it or not. A lot of tools like that, as long as you put a good edge on them, these work great. I've had them for years. Got them for $3 at a dollar store. Anyway, I'm going to cut these into like 2-inch pieces and just cut the whole thing down to the ground. And all of these canes will become a mulch, and then I'll throw some leaves on top of the whole thing, and it'll be done for the year. Let's see how quickly I can prep this bed for next year. You know, it just dawned on me while doing this that an even easier way to do this is to just cut the, put my glove on here, cut the stalks instead of trying to shear them down this way, which is not working very well. It's my first year doing this. I'm trying to think of an easy way to do it. Instead of trying to do that, which makes sense, but the shears just aren't strong enough to go through. If you had a hedge trimmer, you could just whip these off, no problem. That would be the way to do it, right down to the ground. But I haven't got that. So I'm going to cut these off low and put them aside, whole like that. And then just cover the area that I've just cleared with some leaves, just a couple inches of leaves. Like that. Raspberries have no problem getting through that next spring. And then, this is where it gets beautiful. Just take the cut branches and throw them back on top to hold the leaves in place, right? Like that. Next spring, these branches will be extremely brittle, and all I'll do is I'll grab them all up, I'll take them over to my lawn, run over them with the lawnmower with the bag on, make a beautiful mulch out of them, throw them back on. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast, beartimegardening.com. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.